Good morning, folks. This is Kerry with 401k Dexters. I am trying another video on the iPad. I've turned the volume up. A couple of the comments we got on the last video was that the volume wasn't loud enough. So give me a comment below and let me know, good or bad, whether the audio sounds a little better on this video. Wanted to start off talking about the 5 things that occupy our time now that I've retired. I want to welcome all the new subscribers. I think we've added another 100 since the last video, up to 1,600 thereabouts. Appreciate everybody's comments and subscriptions, so thank you very much. We are monetized now. I think I mentioned before, the first check next month will be, or this month will be, something along the lines of $230. I think we're on tap right now for about $90 so far this month. So YouTube monetization has kicked in, and appreciate everybody's contributions to that by watching the videos. I know I spend a lot of time watching retirement videos and self-interest videos, and I'm going to do a video here pretty soon about the different channels that I watch and I contribute to that helps other YouTubers out there. So look for that coming up. But as far as the 5 things that occupy my time and my wife's time, our time together during retirement, is the number one thing is spending time with family. As most of you know that have watched this channel before, I retired in September after postponing retirement for 1 year to stay close to family. Our daughter got pregnant a little over a year ago, well, almost 2 years ago now, and we didn't want to move away to our homestead that's about 90 miles away. Decided to stay here in the house and keep the mortgage. Yes, I know a lot of people had commented that they couldn't imagine retiring with a mortgage. We don't owe a whole lot on the mortgage, and the mortgage isn't astronomical, so it fit into our budget, and which really speaks to retirement being an individual decision based on your expenditures, and not some ideal that fits into a cookie cutter box for everybody. But that time spent with family consists of babysitting our grandson, because our daughter recently started nursing school, and our son-in-law works and goes to school on his GI Bill. And another incident that happened was my mother became ill around Christmas and went into the hospital for a while, and then got released into a nursing home for rehabilitation. Thanks for all the prayers that went out and up to her and for her, so she can return home safely, and she gets out tomorrow, which is Saturday. So we'll be driving down to assist getting her out of the home and into her home. But we've spent quite a bit of time visiting with Mom and taking trips down there to sit with her in both the hospital and the nursing home at least once a week. So that has occupied a little bit of our time. We're babysitting about 3.5 days a week. So spending time with our grandson, it's invaluable. And that's one of the reasons that we stayed close by instead of retiring and moving away. The second thing that we're doing involves the animals and animal stewardship and husbandry for the animals that we do have. We've got 5 German short-haired pointers. We've got 2 Tennessee walking horses in the backyard, and we've got 7 cows down on the homestead property. So every morning you've got to get up and you got to feed the dogs. I've got to go out and let the horses out of their barn corral, feed them, make sure that they've got water at least once a week, probably about once every 5 days. We make the 90-mile trek down to our property and check the cows, give them cattle cubes. Now that it's winter time, we want to make sure that their nutrition is kept up, make sure that they have hay moved in each one of the paddocks that we rotate them through, and just make sure that their well-being is taken care of. So animals take up quite a bit of our time in my retirement. Another thing that when I sat down and looked at it, food planning and preparation seems to take quite a bit of our time. Linda used to do most of that by herself before I retired. but now that I've retired, she enjoys me going along to the grocery store with her for picking up, the cases of water or soda or the heavy items. But it's also time together that we get to spend. We also sit around the dining room table and make out our shopping list based on our menu. Linda is a big list maker and planner, and she's rubbed off on me in retirement. So our planning consists of sitting down and projecting out the meals that we're going to have, which therein rolls into a list of things that we need to pick up at the grocery store. Back behind me here is a pantry that we started after COVID. We've got a pantry in the kitchen, I think I've mentioned before, but we also started stockpiling food back here in this back bedroom office, just as an overflow. So the first place that we go shopping is the pantry. We look at what things that we have that have a shelf life that are going to expire, and then we complement that with trips to Walmart, Kroger's, and Aldi's. I know one of the guys on here, I think it was Buzz, mentioned that he hadn't tried shopping at Aldi's, and Linda is a thrifty shopper. She is a coupon cutter, and she finds that Aldi's has discounts that the other stores don't have. Another thing, number 4 on the list of things that occupy our time would be leisure. For Christmas, I ended up getting a gift card to Half Price Books. Here in the Rockwall area, we've got a really nice Half Price Books, and I went and spent half of my $40 gift card on these books. As you can see, that's a $2 book. Here's a $1 book. But I ended up getting several Westerns. That's a genre that I really enjoy. But I also picked up a really interesting one, Kon-Tiki by Thor Heyerdahl. But it's a documentation of a trip that this gentleman made back in the 1947 to 69 time frame. He went and built a primitive raft and sailed from the Southern American continent over to Polynesia. He was theorizing or proving the theory that Polynesian natives possibly could have migrated from South America at some point, and he did that successfully. So that'll be neat to read. And then I picked up one that's kind of a alien ship at the bottom of the ocean is discovered, and what comes out of that discovery. So it's kind of a sci-fi, not really my genre of choice, but it looked interesting when I read the back of it, so I picked it up. But besides reading, we do have the TV on sports quite often. Basketball's going on now, hockey's going on now. We even put the Golf Channel on just to have something on that's not media driven and force feeding the same old news day in and day out, or repeating at least what you've seen in the morning all day long. So there's times when I'll sit back and read for a while, or I'll get on the iPad or my phone and watch YouTube, but just enjoying a less stress, lack of stress with a job, and enjoying downtime. And the last thing that's starting to occupy more of my time now, and that would be number 5, is an effort to declutter, to work on projects here around the house in an effort to relocate to the property sometime later this year. I took some boxes out of the garage earlier this week, planted them in one of the bedrooms, and started taking things off the walls. One of the walls in the front bedroom had all of our daughters' memorabilia and awards, trophies, and belt buckles from when she showed pigs in the FFA. I asked her if she wanted those, and she said not particularly in her house, but she didn't want to throw them away. So that's that balance that we're going to have to go through and find things that we don't want anymore and we're just going to get rid of, or things that we want to pack away and keep for safekeeping, maybe potentially to give to her for someday in the future, or maybe when we get set up at the new house later this year in my office, that I can take a few specific things like, her major trophies and hang them on the wall for memories. But that's the things that have occupied our time since retirement. Spending time with family, taking care of animals, whether they're here at the house or down at the property, food planning, preparation, in addition to trips to the grocery store, starting to get both in the kitchen and on the grill more often to help contribute with food preparation and planning, as opposed to having Linda do most of that. And again, it spends time, together. I'm sitting there chopping up veggies and she's, working things on the stove. So that's good time together. Leisure time, again, reading, sitting back, playing on the iPhone or the iPad or my phone, and just enjoying downtime. And then the fifth thing is the preparation for relocating to the homestead later this year. Hope this gives you guys a little insight into what your retirement might look like, or give you some ideas of what we're doing in retirement. You guys have a good week. Again, my mom gets out of the nursing home tomorrow, so we're going to get her settled in her home. I'm glad and happy that she's able to do that. So we'll be busy this weekend. You guys have a good weekend. 401k Dexters out.